Picture this scene: you're at airport security, eagerly waiting for your next flight, when suddenly beep. The detector goes off. You're pulled aside for an extra screening. Meanwhile, someone dressed impeccably walks through without a hitch, almost as if they were invisible to the staff. Pure coincidence? Maybe, but the clothes you wear can greatly influence how you're treated during the process. Hi, travelers. As surprising as it may sound, your choice of clothing can make the difference between a quick screening and a long, stressful inspection. Certain outfits catch the attention of security staff, turning your airport experience into something much more tense than necessary. Although there's no official dress code for flying, those who present themselves with a neat appearance often receive kinder treatment. From a friendly smile to a more helpful attitude from staff, or even the unexpected dream of an upgrade. Dressing well, showing politeness, and having a good attitude can seriously improve your experience. So before packing your suitcase, think carefully about what you're going to wear. A simple choice can mean the difference between a smooth process and being stuck in an awkward security check. It could even turn an ordinary flight into a much more pleasant one. Let's get straight to the point. Have you ever found yourself stuck at security, fumbling with your shoelaces while feeling the pressure of the line behind you? Or worse, did you find out that your boots with zippers or sneakers with metal decorations triggered the alarm, leading to a more thorough inspection? It happens more often than you'd think. Choosing the wrong footwear can turn a smooth process into a tedious one. But it's not just about getting through security, it's also about your comfort during the flight, and even your safety in case of an emergency. Shoes with metal, tricky laces, or high boots might look great, but in a pinch, they can become your worst enemy. Making the right choice from the start can save you a lot of hassle. You'll wish you'd gone for something simpler. Even the smallest metal details can set off airport detectors, leading to unnecessary delays and frustration. And while flip-flops or loose sandals might seem like a good idea because they're easy to slip off, they offer no support. The last thing you want is to trip in the middle of a crowded terminal. Worse still, if an emergency happens during the flight, you'll need sturdy shoes that stay on your feet and protect you from the unexpected. So, what should you wear? The best option is a pair of lightweight sneakers, either slip-ons or athletic shoes, that provide good support. They're practical for getting through security, comfortable for walking long distances in the airport, and safe if anything unforeseen happens. If you prefer shoes with laces, make sure they're easy to loosen. Feet tend to swell on long flights, and tight shoes can make the journey far more uncomfortable. It's also important to choose a pair with good grip, since some airport floors can be surprisingly slippery. And nobody wants to start their vacation with a fall on the way to the boarding gate. We've talked about shoes, but what about what you wear underneath? Socks might seem like a small detail, but they can make a big difference. If you've ever had to walk barefoot through the security area, you know exactly why. Aside from keeping your feet off that cold, and not always clean, floor, socks play a crucial role in your overall comfort, especially if you'll be sitting for hours. If your flight is over 2 hours long, consider wearing compression socks. They apply gentle pressure to your legs and ankles, improving circulation, reducing swelling, and even helping prevent blood clots. After many hours without moving, your legs can feel heavy, and the last thing you want is to get off the plane with numb feet. Here's a practical tip: if you plan to take your shoes off during the flight, bring a clean pair of socks. The cabin floor isn't exactly spotless, and changing your socks can help you feel refreshed. Your seatmates will thank you too. Nowadays, compression socks come in modern, comfortable designs, so you can stay healthy without looking like you're headed to a clinic. Once you try them, you'll wonder how you ever flew without them. Now let's move on to another key question: pants or shorts? At first glance, shorts might seem like the cooler, more comfortable choice. But there's one detail many people overlook: airplanes are cold. Really cold. If you've ever been on a flight with the air blasting, you know exactly what I mean. That's why pants are the better choice. But not just any pants. Ideally, go for something comfortable, practical, and fitted to your body. Soft, Stretchy fabrics like joggers or chino-style pants are your best bet. Avoid belts or stiff waistbands that might feel tight. If you tend to swell during flights, you'll definitely notice the difference. When it comes to design, super wide leg pants might look stylish, but they're far from practical. They can easily get caught on stairs, drag across the bathroom floor, yes, that bathroom, and collect more germs than you'd like to imagine. A slimmer or tapered fit is more functional, hygienic, and much safer. One important tip: avoid jumpsuits or rompers. While they may look great, they're the least practical option for airplane bathrooms. Having to undress completely at 30,000 feet isn't exactly ideal. And don't forget about color. Dark tones are your best friends. Between coffee spills, turbulence, and other unexpected accidents, it's better to be safe than sorry. Dark pants can hide just about anything and help you walk off the plane with your dignity intact. In short, while shorts may seem like a tempting option, a well-chosen pair of pants is your real travel ally. They'll keep you warm, comfortable, and ready for anything. Choose wisely, and have a great trip. When it comes to flying, underwear is rarely a topic of conversation, but if you don't choose the right kind, you could end up spending hours feeling uncomfortable in your airplane seat. And trust me, that's no fun. Rule number 1, avoid anything tight or made from synthetic materials that don't allow your skin to breathe. These fabrics trap heat and moisture, creating an uncomfortable environment, especially on long flights. It's better to go for soft, breathable fabrics like cotton or microfiber. These help keep you dry and cool, making a big difference when you're sitting for several hours. Here's a pro tip that makes all the difference: pack an extra pair. Changing your underwear as soon as you land after a long flight gives you an instant feeling of freshness. You'll feel way better walking off that plane. It might seem like a small detail, but trust me, once you do it, you'll never suffer through an uncomfortable flight again. Have you ever felt freezing cold on a plane, shivering under that thin airline blanket? Or on the flip side, sweating because the cabin suddenly feels like a sauna? The secret to staying comfortable at 35,000 feet isn't guessing the temperature, it's dressing in layers. Start with a good base layer, something comfortable and breathable, like a cotton t-shirt or a moisture-wicking fabric. This is your foundation, so if you need to take off some layers at security or during the flight, you'll still be appropriately dressed. Next, add a versatile mid-layer, like a lightweight sweater or hoodie. It gives you extra warmth without being too bulky, and you can easily take it off if things heat up. Finally, wear a functional outer layer. A zip-up jacket with pockets and a hood is ideal. You can zip it up if you're cold or open it for ventilation. And the hood, it's perfect when you need a little isolation to rest. Bonus points if it's a dark color: spills happen, and darker shades hide them much better than light ones. Dressing in layers not only keeps you warm, it also helps you adapt to changing temperatures. Airplanes, airports, and your destination can all have very different climates, and with layers, you can easily adjust to each one without any hassle. With a bit of planning, you can make your travel experience much more comfortable. And once you find the perfect flying outfit, you'll never get on a plane unprepared again. In summary, to guarantee a comfortable and practical travel outfit for flying, consider the following. Footwear: choose comfortable lace-up sneakers that offer good support for walking through airport terminals and are easy to adjust. If your feet tend to swell during flights, consider wearing compression socks. They are especially useful on long flights, as they help improve blood circulation, reducing both swelling and fatigue. For the lower part of your outfit, opt for comfortable, loose-fitting pants with an elastic waistband. This will prevent discomfort and promote circulation while you're seated for long periods. For the upper part, layering is key. Start with an undershirt, add a turtleneck, and finish with a zip-up jacket with a hood and pockets. That way, you'll be ready for any temperature changes inside the plane. When it comes to accessories, it's recommended to minimize jewelry to speed up your passage through security. Also, choose clothes in darker colors to effectively conceal stains or spills. It's also a good idea to bring a change of clothes in your personal bag in case something goes wrong. You might also want to include a travel-size wrinkle spray and a portable stain remover. These small details can make a big difference. If you focus on comfort and practicality, you'll be better prepared for a more enjoyable trip. Now, let's move on to what you shouldn't wear on a flight. We've all seen someone at the airport struggling with their clothing choice. Maybe it's the person battling with high boots at security, or someone shivering in shorts because they forgot that airplanes are often pretty cold. Let's make sure you're not that person. First, avoid clothing that's too tight or restrictive. Have you ever tried to be comfortable in an airplane seat while your jeans are squeezing you? Not fun. Also, avoid fabrics that cling to your skin or lack elasticity. The best option: loose, breathable, and flexible clothing. Next, avoid complicated outfits. Those ensembles with a bunch of buttons, layers, or zippers might look great, but they turn into chaos when you try to move in the tiny airplane bathroom. Keep things simple. If putting on or taking off clothes is a hassle, it's probably not the best option for travel. And don't forget about strong perfumes. You might love your favorite fragrance, but the person sitting next to you might not feel the same. In a plane, with the recycled air, even the most subtle perfume can become overwhelming. The best advice: use little or none. Another common mistake is wearing clothing with too bold or offensive messages or designs. That t-shirt with a strong political message or a controversial design could attract uncomfortable stares and even cause problems at the airport. It's wise to go for neutral clothing. When it comes to jewelry and metallic accessories, it's best to keep it minimal. You don't want to be the person who delays the security line while taking off rings, belts, and necklaces. And finally, avoid high heels or uncomfortable shoes. If you have to walk through airport corridors, stand in line at security, or even run to catch a tight connection, trust me, you'll want to be comfortable. Opt for slip-on shoes or any kind of footwear that's easy to put on and take off, allowing you to move freely. In short, your travel attire should work in your favor, not against you. Avoid these mistakes and your airport experience will be much smoother. In addition to what you wear, your accessories and medical devices can also impact how your time at the airport goes. Security checkpoints are designed to detect any suspicious objects, and sometimes even the most everyday items can cause unexpected delays. Let's start with jewelry. Small accessories, like wedding bands or discreet earrings, usually don't cause problems. But larger pieces or those with a lot of metal can. Flashy necklaces, large rings, or heavy watches can trigger metal detectors and result in additional screening. The best option: keep bulky jewelry in your carry-on bag before going through security, then put it back on afterward. This will save you time and hassle. Now, if you're traveling with medical devices, there are some key things to know. Items like insulin pumps, feeding tubes, or ostomy bags are allowed, but you should always inform the TSA staff before the screening begins. Carrying a medical notification card or certificate can also speed up the process and avoid unnecessary questions. Each airport may have different procedures, so checking the latest TSA and airline guidelines before flying is a good practice. Do you feel like security lines take longer than they should? Here's a simple trick to get through faster: empty your pockets before reaching the scanner. Instead of tossing your phone, wallet, and other loose items into a tray, where they can get lost or, worse yet, disappear, keep them in your jacket pockets. Then, simply take off your jacket, place it in the tray, and you're done. Everything will stay together, nothing will get left behind, and you'll pass through security much faster. A little organization goes a long way, and when you're not running to gather your things at the end of the line, you'll thank yourself for taking that extra second to be prepared. Finally, remember that dressing intentionally for air travel isn't just about style, it's also about comfort, security, and practicality throughout the entire journey. If you choose a functional and comfortable look, you'll breeze through security, be at ease during the flight, and be ready to start your adventure as soon as you land. So, the next time you start packing your suitcase, pay a little extra attention to your travel outfit. It can make the difference between a stressful flight and a smooth, enjoyable experience. Safe travels. 11 reasons why more and more travelers are being denied boarding before their flight in 2025. Imagine this scene: you're all set for your dream vacation. Your bags are packed, you've cleared security, and you're standing at the gate. You can see your plane waiting for you through the window. But just as you approach, the airline agent looks at you and says, "You can't board." In 2025, it's becoming increasingly common for passengers to be turned away at the gate, and some of the reasons are truly surprising. In this video, I'll reveal 11 unexpected reasons why you might be denied boarding, and, most importantly, how to prevent it from happening to you. Trust me, number 11 could ruin your entire trip, and it's happening more often than you think. Let's start with the first one. Reason 1. Your carry-on doesn't meet size requirements, and you refuse to check it. Airlines are enforcing stricter rules than ever regarding carry-on luggage sizes. Even if you're convinced your bag fits in the overhead bin, many airlines now have measuring devices at the gate, and they're using them without exceptions. If your bag fails the test, you may be asked to check it right before boarding. And if you refuse, they can deny you access to the plane. This has already happened to passengers carrying delicate items, essential medications, and even musical instruments. A renowned international violinist once had to choose between checking her priceless 200-year-old violin, or missing her flight. Harsh, right? Bottom line, arguing with gate agents over your bag is a bad idea. Those battles are almost never won. Reason 2, you arrived on time. But the gate was already closed. This is a common mistake. Many travelers assume the flight time is the same as the boarding cutoff. In reality, airlines usually close the gate at least 15 minutes before takeoff. And lately, some are shutting it even earlier, especially if all passengers are already checked in. You could be relaxing at an airport cafe, thinking you have plenty of time, and suddenly, surprise, the gate is no longer open. Once it's closed, it doesn't matter how fast you run or how much you beg. They won't reopen it. I've seen people miss their flights just steps away from the gate, their names echoing over the loudspeakers, only to arrive and find an empty boarding area. So remember. The time you think is on time. Move it earlier. Get there sooner. Much sooner. Reason 3, the name on your ticket doesn't match your ID. It might seem like a small detail, until it's the reason you're denied boarding. If the name on your reservation doesn't exactly match your official ID or passport, you won't be allowed on the plane. It's that simple. Airlines follow strict security protocols, and even a nickname or a single misspelled letter can become a major hurdle. An extreme example. Someone once booked a ticket for their friend as a joke under the name, Fluffy McKittens. It seemed funny, until it nearly ruined their entire trip. Moral of the story, double-check your details when booking. Use your full legal name and ensure it matches your ID. And if you spot an error, fix it in advance. Yes, there might be a fee, but it's better than being stranded. Reason 4, you missed the check-in deadline. Many assume arriving at the airport on time is enough. Spoiler, it's not. If you don't check in, or drop off your luggage, before the cutoff time, you won't be allowed through security. This window usually closes 30 to 60 minutes before departure, and at large airports, long lines can sabotage you. The worst part? Some airlines are quietly shrinking these deadlines, especially for counter check-ins versus online. Key tip, check in online whenever possible, and verify your airline's cutoff times. Don't assume they're the same across the board. Reason 5, you refused facial recognition at boarding. More airports are rolling out sci-fi style boarding systems. Instead of scanning your pass, a camera scans your face and matches it to your ID. It's fast, efficient, and not without controversy. Some travelers reject it for privacy reasons. But beware, on certain international flights, especially if you're not a citizen of the departure country, you can't opt out. Even if manual checks are offered, the process might take so long you'll miss your flight. So, the future is here, and it's probably scanning your face. What do you think? Does this feel secure, or do you prefer the old school way? Reason 6, you were rude or aggressive with staff. It sounds exaggerated, but it's not. A snarky comment or bad attitude toward airline staff can cost you your flight. Gate agents have the authority to deny boarding if they deem you disruptive or potentially problematic mid-flight. And this decision is non-negotiable. Often made in seconds, with no room for appeal. So, no matter how frustrated you are, take a deep breath and stay calm. A single moment of attitude can backfire badly. Sometimes, it doesn't even take yelling or insults. A sarcastic tone, a defiant glare, or a heated argument over a seat, that's enough to get you bumped from the boarding list. And it doesn't matter if you were right in your complaint. One passenger was denied for raising their voice over baggage fees. Another was pulled aside just for mocking staff during check-in. Why? Crews are trained to spot potential conflicts before they escalate, and they'd rather avoid mid-air drama. Pro tip that could save your trip. Stay relaxed, be polite, and treat staff with respect. Sometimes, a smile is worth more than the ticket in your hand. Reason 7, you were on an overbooked flight. Now for the most frustrating scenario of all, you could do everything right, and still get left behind. Why? Because the airline sold more tickets than seats available. This happens when airlines gamble that some passengers won't show up, but if everyone does, someone gets bumped. In these cases, they first ask for volunteers, offering cash, vouchers, or free flights. If no one takes the deal, they start selecting passengers. And no, it's not random. Airlines prioritize based on factors like ticket class, check-in time, or frequent flyer status. How to reduce your risk? Join the loyalty program, even if you only fly once a year. Check in as early as possible. Avoid basic economy tickets, they're the first to be bumped. Reason 8, your odor caused complaints. Yes, this is awkward, but it happens more often than you'd think. If airport staff or crew decide your smell, whether from body odor, strong perfume, cigarettes, oils, or other sources, could disturb passengers, they can deny you boarding. This is to protect others' comfort in the confined space of a plane. Here's the tricky part. There's no universal rule. It's entirely subjective, based on staff judgment or passenger complaints. Pro tip, before heading to the airport, ensure you're clean, fresh, and avoiding heavy scents. Better to smell neutral than miss your flight over something preventable. Reason 9, you didn't have the correct or valid documentation. Having a document doesn't mean it's the right one. This applies to both international and domestic flights. If your passport is expired, damaged, lacks blank pages, or doesn't meet your destination's requirements, you might be grounded. Some countries demand passports valid for 6+ months beyond your arrival date, not departure. Others require space for stamps/visas. Tears, water damage, or illegible text. The airline may deem it invalid. Even domestic flights can snag you if ID laws change, e.g., biometric rules. Bottom line. Before flying, check not just if you have your documents, but whether they meet every requirement for your destination. Key takeaways. Overbooking isn't random, protect yourself with early check-in and smart ticket choices. Smell matters, what's normal to you might offend others in tight spaces. Documents expire, tear, or fail silently, inspect them like your trip depends on it, because it does. Reason 10, you bought a ticket with a system glitch. And never noticed. This sounds like a nightmare, but it happens. You found that dream flight at an unbelievable price, got the email confirmation, and everything seemed perfect. Then you arrive at the airport, and they tell you you're not in the system. Or worse, your flight was cancelled, without anyone notifying you. This occurs more often than you'd think. Common causes. Your payment didn't process correctly. Your card was declined, and you missed the alert. You booked connecting flights separately, and the system didn't link them. Third-party booking sites sometimes fail to sync with airline systems. Pro tip: double-check your booking directly with the airline at least 48 hours before departure. Save screenshots of your purchase and confirmation email. If a deal seems too good to be true, it might be. Reason 11: you're on a watch list. And didn't know. This is the most unsettling scenario of all. You check in, everything seems fine, then at the last second, an agent pulls you aside and says you can't board, with no explanation. Sometimes, it's because you've been wrongly flagged due to a name similar to someone with security issues. A minor past incident, even a misunderstanding. A system error that tagged you by accident. Yes, this is real. People have missed weddings, funerals, and family trips over bureaucratic mistakes. One woman discovered she was barred from flying on her way to her sister's wedding. It took weeks to clear her name, but by then, it was too late. How to protect yourself, as much as possible. Always stay calm and cooperative on board. Never joke about security, weapons, or threats, even sarcastically. If you've ever had a conflict with an airline, call ahead to confirm your status. Because once you're at the gate, there's no fixing it. Final thoughts. These are the 11 reasons more travelers are being grounded in 2025. Did any surprise you? Have you experienced something similar? Drop a comment below. And if this helped you prepare for smoother travels, hit like and subscribe for more no-drama travel tips. Safe flights.